she gets up and she says, Patrick, this is very hard for me to say this. And let me tell you why it's very hard. I said, what's that? She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. We do very well. I've made millions of dollars. My people and my work that work at the salon, they do very well for themselves. I drive a nice car, I have a nice house, I have money, I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. I need them.
They say the truth hurts. But don't worry, we're here to do more than just hurt some feelings. We're about to obliterate some woke nonsense. Buckle up, because you're about to get a dose of reality, delivered with no filter. If you're allergic to facts, now's your chance to grab a participation trophy and leave. For everyone else, hit that thumbs up, drop a comment, and subscribe, and let's jump into the wild world of wokeness.
Women in this country still make 77 cents on the dollar for what men make. So if women don't make less than men?
Actually, if you start looking at the numbers, Rachel, there are lots of reasons for that.
Wait.
Well,
don't
first
tell me
of
the
all,
reasons are. Do women make less than men for doing the same work?
No, because
Wow.
well,
We're
for
working from
example,
different
men work an average of 44 hours a week. Women work 41 hours a week. Men go into professions like engineering, science, and math that earn more. Women want more
Listen,
flexible
this is not a
professions.
math is hard.
No.
Barbie
Yes, it is.
conversation. No, it
Actually.
isn't.
Well, you have
No,
to look-
listen.
All right, let
Listen,
Rachel
hold on.
frame it though the way
Rachel,
Right now,
laid it out.
women are making 77 cents on the
litigating
dollar for what men are making. So
But that's
if
not true.
So,
If so, then every greedy businessman in America would hire only women, save 25%. And I love how passionate you are. I wish you were as right about what you're saying as you are passionate about it. I really do.
All right, let's get into it. The infamous 77 cents on the dollar myth. The feminists love to parade this stat like it's the gospel truth, but we're here to call it what it is: utter nonsense. Let's break it down, shall we? First off, this whole gender pay gap thing doesn't take into account some pretty basic realities. Men and women make different choices. That's just facts. Men work longer hours, 44 hours a week on average compared to women's 41. Not only that, but men go into higher paying fields like engineering, math, science. You know, the hard stuff. Meanwhile, a lot of women choose careers that just don't pay as much, like teaching or social work. But hey, math is hard, right? If women were really making 77 cents for every dollar a man makes doing the exact same work, businesses would have capitalized on that loophole long ago. They'd be stacking up women employees like it's a sale at the mall. But the truth is, when you adjust for choices, hours worked, and career fields, that pay gap shrinks faster than feminists running from facts. You want to get paid like men? Cool. Pick a career in STEM, work those 60-hour weeks, and stop whining.
Did you get into because you thought that you had a talent or because of financial reasons?
So the reason why people get into is obviously going to vary depending on who you ask. For me personally, because I was young. I was 19 when I started. I just turned 19, so I was basically 18. So for me personally, I wanted to be able to enjoy in a fun way and be able to profit off of it.
You sell for a living, literally. That's your product. But then you turn around and complain that men are sexualizing you? Excuse me. Here's the truth you don't want to admit. You can't separate work from who you are. That's not how this works. You're not a cashier selling toothpaste at CVS. You're selling intimacy, or at least the illusion of it, and that leaves a mark. The moment you decided to put your body on display for cash, you opened the door to being treated differently. You commodified something intimate, and you expect to keep your private life untouched? No, sweetheart, that's not how this game works. And let's address this whole work is empowering nonsense. Really? Empowering how? Because a bunch of dudes are throwing money at you to see naked pictures? Come on, that's not empowerment. That's validation from strangers who couldn't care less about you as a person. You think you found some sort of feminist utopia where you can cash in on your body and be respected at the same time. Hate to break it to you, but that bubble is going to burst. When your looks fade and your OnlyFans traffic dries up, what are you left with? A nice digital footprint and, let's be real, a lot of regret. And we love this part. Some of these women claim to be in monogamous relationships while they're on OnlyFans. Monogamous. Oh, honey, no. If you're out there showing your body to the world for $9.99 a month, you're not monogamous. You're not even close. You can't claim your body is reserved for your partner when it's on display for every Tom, Dick, and Harry with a Wi-Fi connection. It's not monogamy if half the internet has seen your goodies. That's just delusional. Here's the kicker. You want all the rewards without any of the responsibility. You want to make a living selling your body, but you also want to be respected like a nun. You want the money, the followers, the attention, but not the consequences. Sorry, but you can't have it both ways. The world doesn't work like that, and no amount of feminist jargon is going to change that.
So, like, can a 40-year-old man hook up with a 70-year-old woman?
They can. So if you are at an age where you're sleeping with a woman the age of potentially your own daughter, I find that extremely predatory and creepy.
Well, I find it predatory that that woman could be sleeping with a man the age of her father.
You can't even
What
have
a sick
you can't
What
even
a
have
sick
Apparently, it's icky when a 50-year-old man dates a 21-year-old woman. Oh, but here's the twist. It's not icky if they're just hooking up and never talk again. According to these critics, it only becomes predatory when the guy actually wants to marry her or have something serious. Wait, what? Here's the reality no one wants to admit. These young women aren't helpless victims. They're adults making their own choices. If a 21-year-old wants to date a 50-year-old, who cares? She's old enough to vote, drink, and get married. But now we're supposed to believe she's incapable of deciding who she dates? Stop treating women like children who need protecting from their own decisions. If they're mature enough to hook up, they're mature enough to decide if they want something long-term.
If a mother gets pregnant
Okay.
and she has a child within her womb,
Yes.
I'm not saying that child gets more rights than any other human. I'm saying that child gets the same rights that every other human
Why
got.
does it deserve it if it can't live on its own?
Eh.
It can't live on its own
All
yet.
sorts of humans can't live on their own. What are you talking about?
Well, I'm saying
You think a 1-week-old can live on its own? A 1-year-old? You think a 1-year-old can live on its own?
It is already alive.
You don't think the baby
out of
inside the
womb.
womb isn't not alive?
No.
Why do you have to abort them?
It's
We're just rapid fire because I don't think everything you're saying.
no. Okay, but
The pro-abortion crowd loves to draw arbitrary lines around when a fetus becomes alive and worthy of protection. The second the baby is out of the body, oh, now it's valuable. But if it's still inside, nah, no rights for you? What kind of backwards logic is that? Let's cut through the nonsense. If the baby is alive outside the womb, it's alive inside the womb. It's the same baby, whether it's in your body or not. The fact that pro-abortion advocates suddenly see life as sacred the moment a baby takes its first breath, but not a second before, is crazy. And what about their argument? Oh, it's a woman's body, her choice. Sure, it's her body, but guess what? There's another body inside there. It's not like you're choosing to get a tattoo or a piercing. You're making a choice about someone else's life. It's hilarious how these people twist themselves into knots to avoid responsibility. You wear a face mask, double up on hand sanitizer, and freak out over every germ. But can't figure out how to use birth control or just choose abstinence if you're not ready for a child?
We've got quite a large pay dispute happening with our Australian women's soccer team at the moment.
I think that how much you get paid should have something to do with how much money you bring in. I'm the highest paid fighter, not because Dana and Lorenzo wanted to do something nice for the ladies. They do it because I bring in the highest numbers. They do it because I make them the most money. And I think that the money that they make should be proportionate to the money that they bring in.
Look, this isn't about sexism, it's about revenue. Plain and simple. You get paid based on how much money you bring in. Men's sports generate billions, TV deals, merchandise, ticket sales, you name it. Women's sports, not so much. So, if the money isn't coming in, how can you expect to take out the same amount? Take the US women's national soccer team, for example. They're complaining about pay, but did we all forget that they lost to a team of 15-year-old boys from Texas? You don't hear the men whining that they should be paid what supermodels make. Why? Because it's based on market demand. Kendall Jenner is the highest paid supermodel, but where are the male supermodels making that kind of money? They don't exist. You know why? Because nobody cares. Sports are no different. You don't get paid more because of your gender. You get paid more because you bring in the cash. If people aren't showing up to watch you play, don't expect to get paid like an NBA star. It's not sexist. It's just basic economics.
I read about what happened to you at, was it Oberlin College?
Many colleges. I'm a frequent college lecturer, and when I have been lecturing for years, and usually I'd go to debate and spar with some women's studies professors because I occupy a different position in sort of feminist theory. But now, these days, I go and it's not the women's studies people, it's the students who come, the activists, to demonstrate. They set up safe rooms. I spoke at Oberlin.
Safe rooms from you?
From me. And I have to have bodyguards. At Oberlin, I had a detail of police.
Didn't they also have a therapy dog?
Yes. Here's the thing. They weren't
from you because you.
No, a young woman. Well, they had these safe rooms set up, and 30 women and a therapy dog fled to the safe space. I triggered a dog, and I feel bad about the dog.
Imagine showing up to a debate and finding out the students have set up safe spaces with therapy dogs because someone with a different opinion might hurt their feelings. You've got to be kidding us. What happened to critical thinking, to debate? Instead of engaging with ideas they don't agree with, these activists would rather run to their comfort zones and pet a dog. We triggered the dog? Really? This is the state of modern academia, folks. These students aren't interested in hearing opposing views. They want to silence anything that doesn't fit their worldview, and they'll cry about it until someone builds them a safe space. We used to have debates. Now we have therapy sessions. It's a joke, and it's killing intellectual discussion. All right, that's more than enough of this train wreck for one video. If you've made it this far, you definitely should have hit that like button ages ago. So go on, do it now. Let us know what you think in the comments, and if you want more of this glorious chaos, hit subscribe. Catch you in the next one.